Alright, I'm going to get right into it. This is our first app we're going to learn. It's Google Docs. Very simple, it's very powerful, but also you don't have to learn all the bells and whistles if you don't want to, but it is available if you want to. So we're going to sort of go through the main things that I think you'll use, and then I'll show you how to find the more advanced stuff. So Google Docs replaces Microsoft Word, and basically all of the functions of Word are found in one way or another in Google Docs. So we're going to look at some of those, and if you have questions on other ones, just let me know and we'll find an answer for you. First of all, this is what it looks like when you create a new Google Doc. The way you do that is when you're in Drive, you go to New, Google Doc, and then this will open up. First thing you want to do is retitle your document. You can do that in a few ways. You can go to File, Rename, but the easier way is just to click on this. We're going to call this Test Doc. Okay. So I've already copy and pasted. I went to Bible Gateway here and I got some text, so I have a paragraph to work with. Now, as you see this text, there's different sorts of text. There's paragraph text, and then there's title text here. There's a heading, and you can see that it actually has recognized this to be heading 3 and this to be just regular normal text. And I'm going to show you how we can manipulate that kind of stuff and change things. Now, Drive does have a function built in that will find mistakes, the red squiggly line. You can just right-click that and make that change. One of the really cool uses of Drive is communicating with your students through the suggestions. And so let's say you wanted to make a comment on something. Let's say you thought that this paragraph was really good, but you had a question. Well, you would do Control Alt M. That's hold Control plus Alt, and then while you're holding those keys, press M, so all three at once. That will make you a comment. You can also grab that text, right-click, and go to comment, and you'll see there Control plus Alt plus M. So if you ever want to find hotkeys, right-clicking will show you the hotkeys. For instance, Control-C is copy and Control-V is paste. Those things are very powerful. Or to make a link is Control-K. We'll go through each of those. Hotkeys are huge, and I highly recommend you learn all of them as quickly as possible. Another way to learn hotkeys while we're at it, I'm going to go back to this in a second, but just hovering over things. So if you want to, this is center text, is Control plus Shift plus E. So if I have this and I press Control Shift E, it would center my text, and then L back to left. So you can hover over things, and that will get you into, that will also show you the hotkey, which is pretty cool. So let's say I was here and I wanted to make a comment on this. Well, I do my Control Alt M, and I say, great job, student, and then, oh, I misspelled job there. And then if I want to enter that from my keyboard, I just press Control Enter. So I could also, of course, while I'm typing this, I could have also hit save with my mouse, but the goal is to not use your mouse. The goal is to use your keyboard only. It makes you a more ninja on your keyboard. So that's how you make a comment, and they'll see that I made a comment over this whole thing because it's highlighted. But comments aren't necessarily the best way to do edits. They are a good way to draw attention to maybe a paragraph or a whole page or something like that, or a word. But let's say you wanted to just do suggestions. Well, I'm going to resolve this comment. Let's say I wanted to show that, hey, I think they should have put a space there. Well, I could just go in and edit and press space, but my student isn't going to know that I made that suggestion. So what I like to do is go up to editing here and change it to suggesting. Now when I go and make that space, they will see that I've added a space there. Let's say I have another one. Let's find something that we want to redo here. It's hard because the Word of God is awesome and doesn't need to be edited, but for the sake of discussion, we're gonna change one of these sentences. So it says the light shines in the darkness and the darkness has not overcome it. Let's say we wanted to add the word, let's say we wanted to change it to the light shines in the darkness and the darkness will never overcome it. Let's just say we wanted to change the words there for some reason and we wanted to suggest that to our student. The way we do it is pretty simple. We just start editing this. Will never instead of has not. So I'm going to highlight that and I can hit delete. So it's going to delete that and will never overcome it. So that's an easy way you can show edits right inside of their paper. And now when they come to the paper, they will see that you wanted to add a space. And if they click on this, it'll show them where, okay, that's where they want me to add a space. I must have rushed through my paper. And they'll say, okay, I accept that suggestion, and it'll be added. They come to this one, and they click it, and they say, okay, instead of will not, they're replacing has not with will never. Do I like that? Maybe I like it. In this case, I don't. I'm going to reject that suggestion. But that's how the suggestion function works, and it's very powerful. Okay, so you can use suggestions, and that will be a great way to communicate with your students, and you can use comments. Let's go back to editing. Now, from a teacher side, I just also wanted to show you a few things you can do with Google Docs. One of them is insert tables. And to manipulate tables is really easy. You go to table up here and you can insert any kind of table you want. And let's say, oh, I want another row in there. Well, you can just right click, insert row below, or if I want another column in there, insert column to the right. Another way to make rows is just to simply be in the last cell and hit tab. So you can tab all the way over. And again, I'm hitting tab to do that. You're tabbing between these. Now, if you're here and you hit enter, it will make a space. So that's a little different than Google Sheets, but you can go down with the arrow key. So again, enter will make will add 2 lines within the same cell, but down will switch between them. So now I'm using my arrow keys to toggle. That's just my left and right arrow keys. That's how you navigate through a table. Okay, so tables are powerful. You can do all sorts of things with tables. Let's say I want to color this whole thing blue, this whole row. Well, what I did is I left clicked and I dragged and I selected all of those things. Now I can right click, go to table properties, and change the cell color to blue. You can pause this video or go slow or watch it again if you don't catch any of this. But now I have this cool blue heading. So you can manipulate your tables and your cells in that way, which can be useful for all sorts of reasons. Tables are huge. Basic document things can be found on File, Page Setup. And by basic documents, I mean margins, your top, your bottom, your left, your right margin, but also your paper size and your direction, portrait or landscape. Okay? You're also your page color. You can do different page colors if you wanted to. So that, again, that was found in File, Page Setup. And if you go through here, you can see one of the coolest things is this C revision history, which the hotkey is Control Alt Shift G. It seems like a lot, but it's not too bad if you're getting Ninja on your keyboard. So if you hit C revision history, now this document's only been edited by me today. So there's not a whole lot of revision history. In fact, there's only one. But if I go to a document that's been edited a lot by a lot of people, I can see who did what when. In fact, let me find you a document real quick. I'm going to go to my drive. I'm going to go into Veritas here. I'm going to go straight into one of my classes. Student drop-off folder. I will pick on Abby here. And Abby has some homework for term 4. So in this homework, I may have made some comments already. She's already resolved these comments. I ended with awesome. She's a really good student, done a really good job. But if I went on here and I said see revision history, I could see when she edited. On April 2nd, she came in and she did this work. Now, I haven't restored this revision yet. I'm just looking at what she did. That's why it's blue text. And then 3 days later, she did some more work. And I can see the difference. She added that blue text in. And then lastly, I can see where I've come in and made a comment and maybe did some edits, and that's her final thing. So this C revision history is very powerful. Now this is only, it gets more and more powerful the more you're working on a joint document. So this is just one student and a teacher, but if there were 10 people working on this document together, this would be full and you can see all sorts of changes. So let's get out of this, go back to our test doc. Just wanted to show you what C revision history was, and again you find that in File, C revision history. Now we could spend a lot of time going through each of these menu items. I would just encourage you to read through them. There's not a whole bunch there. There's things like superscript and subscript and strike through and underline, and these are all hotkeys that you can learn the hotkeys. The line spacings here. There's also line spacing over, where is it? Right here. So there's also line spacing here. You can find it in a different place, different places. But I won't spend all this time going through this. I want to just show you a few things. Let's say that you get this text, you really like Calibri, and you get the Word became flesh, and you really like the way this text looks, and you go and you change the line. This is custom, but you change it just a single line spacing. You remove the spaces before the paragraph and you after the paragraph, so you get it just like you want it. This is just like you want your text formatted. What if you wanted all your text to look just like this? Well, one easy way to do it, right now there's all sorts of different kinds of text. This is Verdana, size 20. This is Arial, size 9, right? So we have all these different kinds of text here. If we wanted everything to look like this quickly, we could select by double-clicking a word. That's just 2 clicks. Go to this paint format, grab it, and now everything that I grab, I'm going to grab the whole thing. When I let it go, it becomes exactly that text. Paint format is I'm going to undo that with Control Z, but paint format is very powerful for formatting. Now, some people will say, well, Microsoft Word has so much more to offer and Google Drive is sort of behind. I highly disagree with that for a lot of reasons. But for instance, if you have a function in Microsoft Word, like maybe they have templates to build flyers and you're like, oh, well, that's nice, it's right there in the software. Know that Google Drive has that also. You just have to search for it. And when you the place to search is very easy. They've made Google Drive on purpose to be very simple so that anyone can come and use it. But if you want more, go to add-ons. And in this case, I've added these 3 different add-ons. I don't use them very much, but I added them. One of them is for making really cool diagrams and inserting images. One of them is called Pro Writing Aid, and it does all sorts of things like consistency, acronym, cliches and redundancies, plagiarism checks, all of these cool things. So anything that you think that Word offers that Google Docs doesn't, it's probably in add-ons, and you can go to get more add-ons, and there's just tons of them. You can search through here like a table of contents app or a translate app, charts, all sorts of stuff. So whatever you're looking for, there is a workaround in Drive. It just might not come with the basic Google Drive. But I find that most things that you need in word processing are right here. Let's take a look at a few. So we've already looked at how to insert tables. You can also insert drawings or images or equations or links. Let's say you wanted to insert a link. Let's say I went to this web page. This is where John chapter 1 was. And let me just show you what I'm doing. I'm going to bring my window down here. So this is my sheet. This is my sheet, my test docs. And this is my John chapter 1 web page. Well, I want to click this. I'm going to hit Control C, which is copy. You can also right click and go to copy. Again, Control C. I'm going to get Control C, I copied it. I'm going to go back to my test doc. Now let's say I wanted to make this word a link that would actually be a link to that web page. Well, when I select all this text and I hit Control K, now I can paste. Remember, I've already copied that web page. So if I hit Control V, I can paste it right there and hit Apply. Now if I click this, it will take me to Bible Gateway, just like that, just to that web page. So links are very powerful. You can use links. I'm going to go back to full screen here. You can use links for a lot of different reasons. Again, links are Control K, and you copy and paste. If I go to change here, it goes back. You copy and paste the link into the link, and the text you can change as well. Okay, links are very powerful. Basic things I want to run through real quick is you can highlight text here. You can also change the text color here. So things like that, you have the freedom of doing. The fonts, there's tons of fonts. You can go through and change the different fonts. You can even add more fonts if you don't see something you like here. All sorts of options. You can program formatting. So let's say I have a text that I really like and I call it normal text. The way I can quickly get to normal text is, let's say I select this paragraph. If I hit Control Alt 0, that text changed back to my normal text. In fact, I'm going to change all of this, Control Alt 0, to normal text. I have a little more, so I'm going to get all of this text, hit Control Alt 0. That's my normal text. Now, I've already pre-programmed a heading called heading 3. In fact, I'll use heading 1. And if I want to change that, it's Control Alt 1. 1 was my heading 1. So I've heard this question, well, how do we fix line spacing with a hotkey, or how do we quickly format? And that's the way to do it. You can design your text however you want. So let's design a new heading. Let's say that we want this to be not Arial, but let's say we want it to be Alpha Slab 1. And we want it to be size 36. Okay, that's what we want our, in fact, that's a little unreadable, so I'm going to go get something different here. We'll get Impact. We like this as our heading. If we want this always to be our heading, we go up to Styles, go to Heading, and say Update Heading 1 to match. Now, if I grab this, and I want that to be the same heading, I hit Control Alt 1, and it has matched. Now, it's blue because it's a link, but it has matched that formatting. So if I grab a word in here, let's say I grab the word life, and I want to bring attention to it, Control Alt 1, oops, it's going to do the whole paragraph, which makes sense. You're formatting the whole paragraph there. So that's how that formatting works, and formatting is pretty powerful. You can program different headings, and if you did heading 2, of course, it'd be Control Alt 2 to hotkey that. Right, it has it right there, Control Alt 2, heading 3, Control Alt 3, and so on. Now, normal text is Control Alt 0. Title text there is no title text hotkey. Subtitle text, there is no subtitle text hotkey. So headings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are programmable with the hotkeys. Okay, what next? You have spelling here, research, word count, all of those functions are here. And I believe that's a good intro to Google Docs. Now, if you have any other questions, just feel free to ask. Your main functions, again, are going to be your going from editing to suggesting. You can, again, share documents right there. Go up to share here and enter the names in. Make sure to decide whether you want them to be able to edit, comment, or view, depending on who you're sharing with and what the purpose is. But again, another very powerful part of Google Drive is Google Docs. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and make sure to watch Google Presentations and Google Slides, as well as the intro video to Google Drive. And yeah, I hope this blesses you. Let me know if you have any questions. God bless.